All right, so if you run a coaching business and you get leads for either Instagram or YouTube completely organically, and you have a show up rate of less than 80%, or not everybody's paying in full, then it very likely has to do with the pre-call page and what you're saying to people before they actually jump on a sales call with either you or your sales rep. Now, what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be breaking down the exact pre-call page, which we currently use for one of our offers, which is doing over $100,000 per month cash collected in the day trading niche, very B2C offer. And we've essentially doubled our show up rate in literally just a matter of a few weeks by adding these exact changes and improving our pre-call page. Now, once you actually jump onto the page, you kind of need to think about in your prospect's brain, right? Like they've just watched a video sales letter, then they went down to the type form, the Calendly, whatever you used for them to be able to schedule in the call. And now they're on this page, right? So the first thing that they see is your call's been approved. And the reason we're saying your call's been approved is that we essentially want to give them the confirmation. However, we're saying complete the steps below to confirm your spot and unlock exclusive content, right? So we're actually giving them a reason to do it. If we just tell them, okay, your call's confirmed, there's nothing else to it, then, they're just going to go to the next page. They're going to click off. So we want to give them the next steps. And then we're going step by step. We've got a step 1, step 2, step 3, and then they can go through results. Now, in terms of step 1, it's very simple. We have a and they can click on this to essentially mark it off. But we've got a 5-minute pre-call video. This is really just going to depend on the sophistication of your ICP. We're extremely B2C. We're selling through a lot of, I guess you kind of say, like flashy content. And so we always have to have a longer page and go harder on qualification. When they join this though, we've essentially got a video of our creator, Dovey FX, and he's essentially just telling them the call's confirmed. He's essentially congratulating them, like, you're taking the next step. Congratulations on believing in yourself, whatever, like all of that type of stuff. And then what he does a little bit later in the video is he starts to go through a strategy, and he essentially starts to explain the offer. He gives them the second YouTube channel, or micro niche YouTube channel, for them to watch before the call to essentially nurture them better before the call. Our goal before the call is to give them as many things, as many case studies, as much content as possible, so that we're following the 7-11-4 rule, and we're giving them as much content as possible before the call. From this point, he starts to go into the community, right? He shows how active the community is inside of the program that we're selling. He shows them the dashboard, which is what they'd be getting when they join the program. And then he runs through some further deliverables and just, essentially tells them to join the call with, in a quiet area, on a desktop, all of the usual stuff to make the prospects actually speakable to and make them easier to close. Now, the next step is going to be them confirming their call. Let me turn this video off. The next step is going to be them confirming their call. And this is really just going to be them doing it in their Google Calendar or whatever calendar that they use. Now, I know that a lot of people like to use FAQ videos. The reason why we're literally just doing these FAQ, you just click on them, you get an answer, is because with the FAQ videos, it takes long to get to the point sometimes. And at the end of the day, we just want to handle their objection. This is also extremely B2C, so they're not going to have that long of an attention span. So we're literally just doing it for these 1 to 2 sentence responses right here. Then they get to join the Discord server inside of the hybrid trading Discord server. This is essentially where they start to see, they essentially get to see the wins. They get to see some of the trades that are being taken, and they see the active community. Obviously, this isn't going to be the official one. This is just going to be the free version. Give them a little glimpse of it. Give them a little bit for free. Get them invested. And then we've got, obviously, the student result videos. We've just kept it to 6. You can obviously do a lot more than this, but I've usually seen that when you just keep it from 5 to 10, people actually go through them. And if you just got a million of them, people don't even start because they get overwhelmed. And then we've got some results from the community. Again, like we kind of tried to keep it short, but if you scroll here, you'll see more and more. And you just want to make sure that you've got different types of results. You're not only showing your best results, but you've also got smaller wins in there, and wins that people can kind of get to a lot quicker, not just the absolute end result. And then at the end of the page, we've essentially got them, they essentially see the checklist, how much of the checklist they've already completed. You can see 1 of 3, and that's because I only marked 1 of 3 things off, but for each thing that they'd mark off, they would get a checking. So here you can see now 3 of 3. And this is essentially the process and pre-call page that we've used to double our show rate in the matter of just a few weeks.